All right. So welcome to a somatic practice. And today we are practicing connection to the heart. So the vagus nerve has two branches, and one of the branches is social engagement, which is love and connection. And it starts at the brainstem, right here at the base of the skull, and then connects to the heart. So, and this is the area that we will be intentionally focusing and embodying today. And I would love for you to place your hands and connect. And just maybe close your eyes here. And I love to start our somatic practice with an intention. Just take a few breaths. Notice your body. And see if you can set up an intention for this practice. The intention might be something like, I'm just intentionally connecting with my heart. Or maybe intentionally listening to my heart. And maybe you want to have a curious question. Something like, what if I am receiving a message about my purpose today? So whatever it is for you, see if you can keep that in your focus, in your loving presence. And just notice that there is this internal wiring inside of you, this vagus nerve, which is the part of the nervous system. And I like to call it my internal lover. It always wants me to come back to love and connection and state of regulation. And that's comforting to know. Let's take a few more breaths and really allow yourself to connect to your intention. And notice your heart space. Notice if it's receiving your intention. And then from here, we're going to relax our hands, especially if they're tired. Maybe shake it up a little bit. All right. And then we're going to place a hand on the forehead, and you can use another hand if you'd like. And then again, the other hand on the heart. We're just coming to more of a prefrontal lobe. Taking a few breaths here. So what's in between our mind and our brain and the heart is our throat, which is our ability to speak. And I'd love for you to bring your awareness into that space between the heart and the head, which is your throat. And we're going to start creating the movements here. As you inhale, start opening that space between the head and the heart, and just lifting the head up. And then as you exhale, side out and close that space and collapse. So bring that heart back between the shoulder blades. And then again, inhale, instead opening your space, lifting the chest, lifting the heart, lifting the head. And exhale, you can side out through your mouth open and close the space. And just continue this gentle opening, gentle closing. And notice how it feels to stretch your capacity for speaking up, for standing up for yourself. But also feeling connected in your head, in your heart. And then from here, so see if you can maybe open halfway. Notice how that feels when you're just halfway. You're not quite sure. Maybe you're feeling disconnected. Maybe you're doubting yourself. And then go ahead and close all the way. And then just choose intentionally how much you want to open. And then maybe close again halfway. Notice how that feels. And then close all the way. So all the spectrum is available to us at any given moment. And as long as you're staying connected to your heart, to your head, you can create the choices. And then relax. Just notice how it feels. When we do this gentle, self-soothing, soft practices, so what we're looking for, sensations of relief in our body, and that might feel like building up of saliva, frequent swallowing, yawning, like that sigh, or you might feel just a general sense of relaxation in the body, kind of like shoulders dropping. So these are all good signs that the body is discharging some survival energy. All right. And then from here, I invite you to give yourself kind of a low hug at the belly button and grab the opposite elbows. And we're going to be doing 4 levels of twisting, just kind of mobilizing a spine. And I'm going to be doing it quickly. I'm going to do 3 times. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And take a breath. Now we're going to lift it up at about like chest level or so and do it again. 1, 2, 3. And take a breath in the central position. I'm going to come up a little bit to like collarbones and do it again. 1, 2, 3. And take a breath. And this time I'm going to go all the way up. And again, 1, 2, 3. And relax. And then from here, we're going to start doing a little bit more twisting, starting from the hug. So we're going to hug, kind of at the lower ribs here. And we'll be doing a little bit of like waving. So we're going to inhale and twist and reach and look back, and especially use your eyes to look back, and then come back. So here we're going to wave in or twist, bring the other arm and reach to the other side, look back. And then this time we're going to go to the lower part, more to the pelvis. And again, reach back. Come back, go to the lower part of the pelvis and reach back to the top part of the leg. Reach back. And again, cross and reach back. So now we're going to go to the middle part of the leg and reach back. And the other leg, reach back. And now to the knee, reach back. And to the other knee, and reach back. And come and cross as you bring your pelvis forward. So aiming your belly button towards the legs. So you're crossing yourself or really tightly hugging. And see if you can continue moving your fingers to the sides and almost stretch yourself forward. That creates quite a bit of stretch in the back between the shoulder blades. And this is what I call the back of the heart. Then just drop the head and feel the stretch.
And of course, all these movements can be done on a chair, so you don't have to sit on the floor if that's not comfortable. And then see if you can surrender to the ground, even though you feel like your upper body, working a little bit, it's stretching, it's expanding the capacity to receive the information into the back of the heart from the loving presence around you. But at the same time, you are allowing the front of the body to surrender to the ground. And then slowly start coming back up.
That felt good. Okay. And then from here, we will be actually coming up all the way. So and all the way for you might be just in front of the forehead. That's fine as well. Or if you can comfortably bring your hands around your head and grab your elbows, you're going to get more stretch. And see if you can feel like your elbows are reaching up toward the ceiling and lifting your rib cage up and away from the pelvis. That nice lengthening. And then from here, we're going to again twist 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And this time, we're going to also stretch to the side. So use your other hand to reach your arm and really lift, like I'm using now my left side to stretch. I'm lifting my left side of the rib cage up and above the pelvis. And then come back to center. Ooh, there's a lot of blood flow going. And then stretch to the left. So now I'm stretching my right side and I'm using my left hand to almost like pull up my arm and feel that delicious opening between the rib cage and the pelvis. And then we're going to come back to center. And now reach both arms all the way up toward the ceiling and you can look up. And then from here, start pushing your torso back, rounding the spine, and just kind of put this block, like the boundaries. Ooh. And then slowly bring the hands to the ground and push the ground, push the hands with the ground. Side out and let the ground receive that sigh. And then from here, we're actually going to do a little bit of shaking. Shake it, shake it. So if you are in a state of kind of collapse and shut down, we're doing this practice after the Christmas and New Year holiday. So shaking might feel like a little bit more increased mobilization to your body, but we're still grounded with our hands and our legs. And we're going to come up and take a moment just to feel your body coming back to your intention that you set for your practice, bringing your intention into your heart space, and just connecting. Connecting to your internal inner lover, your vagus nerve, who always wants you to come back to love and connection, to the state of regulation. Okay. Whew. So we're going to repeat this all again. We're going to start from our lower hug. Now we kind of know what you're doing. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And at about collarbone level. 1, 2, 3. And at the top. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. And then from here, we're gonna start our twisting to the sides. So I'm hugging myself at about belly button or kind of waist, maybe waist level. And we're gonna inhale and reach, use your eyes as well. Come back and just kind of find your motion of crossing the arms. Now I'm coming to the pelvis, like feeling my pelvic bone here, just a little lower. Exhale as you come back, finding your other side of the pelvis. And then when you're ready, to the top of the leg. So I'm moving to the middle of the leg. And the other side. And then coming to the knee. And then eventually bringing both hands to the knees, tilting the pelvis forward. So you're aiming that belly button forward. And then start slowly moving your arms to the sides as you're really squeezing and creating that stretch in the back of the heart and the back of the body. Dropping your head down and just sending the signals to your nervous system that you are choosing protection, and that's okay. But at the same time, you're grounding yourself, bowing your head to the ground. And yes, maybe it's a little bit tighter to breathe, but you're stretching your capacity and learning to breathe through the tight times. And then slowly come up. Yeah, that's the sigh that the nervous system and our body is always looking for, especially when we are going through the tight times. And when we also tightening up our breath, then everything goes just too tight. That's why allow yourself to just sigh it out, breathe it out. Beautiful. And then from here, we're gonna move to the next part. So if you're sitting on the floor, I'm bringing my right leg, right foot on the floor, so right knee is bent. And then from here, I'm actually gonna use my right arm to kind of bind against my leg and lift up. Bring my left hand behind, so you can just keep it to the side if that is better, or behind. And then from here again, we're gonna twist and open. And then as you exhale, aim your left elbow to your right leg as you're coming down and in. And then inhale. Exhale, opening the heart to the side. Testing out, see what's there. Connecting to your intention. Notice how it feels when you're moving this way. And that's going to be our last one as you bring your elbow to the leg. All right, and then we're going to switch it up. So my left leg is in front, left foot is on the floor. So, and again, I'm going to bind my arm against the leg, bring the other hand back and start moving. Inhale, back. Exhale, reaching in and down. So continue connecting with your intention. So as we explore different movements, staying connected to our breath and listening to the heart. And we're going to do our last one, bringing that elbow to the leg. And relax. So from here, we can just, shake it up. Okay, and we're going to complete the practice with this restorative practice, which is basically we're going to focus on opening the heart, opening the chest, and we're going to stay there a little bit longer to really allow ourselves to feel that stretch in the body, essentially stretching ourselves for life or the goals or intentions we're working towards that will require some stretching. So if you have a block, we will be setting up two blocks. One is higher, one is lower, and the lower block is going to be going to our bottom of the shoulder blades. You can have your knees bent, and essentially it's going to look like this, right? So, but most people may not have a block, so we're going to have a blanket. And we just need about that much blanket. And we're going to be, like mine is thin, so that's why I'm going to be rolling it a little bit more. So it creates a little bit more cushioning. But if your blanket is really thick, you don't need to roll that much. So we don't want to make it too thick. And again, for a nervous system work to regulate, to relax, we want just to create a very gentle sensation. It's not something like you want to feel it at 100% stretch. No. And then essentially it's going to be lengthwise towards the top of the mat. So you have some room for your legs here. Back. Okay, so we're here at the blanket, tuck the pelvis, and bring your center of the spine right onto the blanket. And this top portion of the blanket, especially if your blanket is long, that can serve as a pillow for your head. I just folded and propped up my neck with that extra blanket. So then you're going to bring your arms out to the sides, palms facing up. And so like already as I got there, my exhale was so just like, I'm finally here. So that's what we're looking for again. All the signs of our body that tell us that we are releasing that survival charge, that emotional energy that kept us stuck. So our arms are out, palms facing up, and you want to feel a gentle stretch across the collarbones, a gentle lift in your chest. And if your back is fine, you can experiment with stretching your legs out, maybe making them wide, maybe keeping them together, whatever feels good. And just bring your awareness and notice, is your throat open? And if you feel there's some constriction in the throat, we'll see if you can lift the chin up a little bit and see if that feels good, especially if your blanket is supporting your neck. And then maybe bring your chin towards the chest and just notice how that feels. And then again, know that both are allowed and you're going to experience both sensations in life. But now, when you're choosing, which way feels better? Find that something in between that feels like, yeah, my throat is connected to my head and to my heart. And if I were speaking right now, I would be speaking from that connected place. And just continue inhaling into your lifted chest and open heart, and notice how this position emphasizing more lift and more opening with each inhale that you take. And the beautiful work with the nervous system, it's not about like making it longer, even though it might feel delicious. Just like that, being in this position for a minute, 2, maximum 5 minutes is enough to help you come to that blended state between too much mobilization and too little immobilization. Essentially come to that state of connectedness. First and foremost, connecting to yourself, your body, your heart, your head. And just continue observing the signs of the body. Are you experiencing frequent swallowing? Are you yawning? Are you feeling like your body wants to kind of like shake? Maybe it's trembling. Then go ahead and shake or tremble with the body, but more intentionally. So we're just going to take 2 more breaths here. Reflect on your intention. And from here, start bringing your feet to the floor, knees are bent. Gently roll over to whatever side feels good. And then use your hand to push yourself back up to your comfortable seat. Just take this time to reflect. And let's again, one more time, bringing your hand either to your forehead or back. And the other hand at the heart. You can keep your eyes closed or open. Just reflect, notice where your head is wanting to position naturally. Notice at how much space you have between your head and the heart. Notice how your throat feels. Because a lot of us, especially for women, we are not speaking up and often feel that constriction in the throat. Notice how it feels. Reflect on your intention. And notice if you are in the position of speaking up your truth when you feel connected between the heart and the head. I'm going to bring both hands to the heart. I'm going to finish with singing a mantra on our exhalation. So because the vagus nerve is also working through the vocal cords, that's why humming, singing is very soothing for the nervous system. So the heart sound in yoga is yum, yum. So it's kind of like when you're eating the delicious food and you're like, yum, yum, yum. It feels like a heartfelt food, right? So let's go ahead and inhale through the nose. Yum. And gently bow to your heart, your greatest teacher in life.